In Bolivia, the 24-hour strike called in the capital of the Eastern Department of Santa Cruz ended with violence, destruction, and takeover of institutions. In the Vatican, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI passed away this Saturday at the age of 95. And North Korea launched 3 short-range ballistic missiles into the Sea of Japan following the test carried out by South Korea on Thursday. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news, and we're going to do so in Bolivia. The supporters of Luis Fernando Camacho attacked 10 public facilities and 1 private home during the strike called by the Civic Committee of Santa Cruz and the Cruceñista Youth Union. The public prosecutor's office opened 7 proceedings to investigate the facts. Radical groups related to Fernando Camacho assaulted public institutions, causing damage or setting them on fire. The aggressor set fire with a Molotov cocktail to part of the structure of the Forest and Land Authority headquarters, attacked the National Tax Office, and destroyed the facade of the television station Avia Yala TV. A similar situation occurred the day before, when they set fire to or destroyed 6 other institutions, among them the Public Prosecutor's Office, the Courthouse, the Civic Register Service, and the Police Command. Meanwhile, the 24-hour strike in Santa Cruz ended with destruction and burning of cars in the capital of Santa Cruz. Bolivian state television broadcast images where groups of demonstrators can be seen charging at vehicles and throwing fireworks inside them. In the meantime, according to the Bolivian Information Agency, at least 20 people were arrested for the destruction caused and the burning of at least 3 vehicles, one of which belonged to a media outlet. In Bolivia, the government stated that the process of arrest and subsequent preventive detention of the governor of Santa Cruz followed the legal procedure in place in the country and rejected the mass counter-media campaign and the political opposition. Our correspondent Freddy Morales tells us the details.
Governor of Santa Cruz was transferred under court order to the Chonchacaro prison in the Altiplano of La Paz to serve 4 months of custody in the framework of the process in which he is being accused, labeled Coup d'etat 1.
With this, we have already become an outlaw state. Outside the rule of law, we can no longer speak of the rule of law.
The preventive detention of Camacho, one of the main actors in the November 2019 coup d'etat, gave new hope that justice will be served for the victims of the grave human rights violations that occurred during the de facto government that Camacho helped to bring to power.
We applaud the actions of the justice system in catching this murderous cop leader, Luis Fernando Camacho, an individual who caused the coup d'etat in 1990.
Thanks to the prosecutors and judges who have been able to make this arrest in Chonchacoro, the deaths of many people who have lost their lives cannot go unpunished. This Camacho has been the intellectual author of the coup d'etat. It is sedition and terrorism. It is what we are applauding on behalf of the victims before the government, because he is also one of those who have started the violation of the rights of the victims in November 2019.
Camacho was arrested on Tuesday in Santa Cruz during a police operation that the right wing called a kidnapping. He was taken to La Paz to testify in the process in which he is being accused. A judge later ordered his preventive detention for 4 months while investigations continue in this case.
Kidnapping is when a person who has no power, who has no legal basis, deprives a citizen of his freedom. This does not have any connotation of those characteristics. There is a prosecutorial order issued within a criminal process that has jurisdictional control that the police have executed in the correct terms of a due process.
It was recalled that Camacho and 30 other people have known about the proceedings against him for 2 years and that, unlike other defendants, including his father who is also accused, the governor of Santa Cruz ignored judicial instructions.
The rules of due process and judicial independence are for all Bolivians. There are no first-class Bolivians and second-class Bolivians. There are no people who, after 2 years of initiating a process, after having been called 4 times and having been given the opportunity to attend, remain in impunity because they have a political position. We politicians are not a privileged class.
The Santa Cruz Civic Committee carried out a 24-hour strike to demand the release of its former president and current governor Fernando Camacho, whose followers this week set fire to more than 7 state institutions and more than 30 vehicles with that objective. In 2019, Camacho promoted the resignation of President Evo Morales and after achieving it, revealed that his father, a private businessman, had had arrangements with the military and the police for the success of the coup d'etat.
Freddy Morales, teleSUR, Bolivia.
Venezuelan political opposition eliminated the acting government figure bestowed upon Juan Guaidó by a majority vote in the 2015 parliament. With 72 votes in favor, 29 against, and 8 abstentions, Juan Guaidó is no longer acting president of Venezuela, a position he had assumed under the self-proclamation on January 23, 2019. After intense discussions and disagreements, the opposition leadership decided to put an end to this figure as of January 5th. The opposition has insisted that this acting government has not fulfilled its objectives, those failing the extremist policy endorsed by the U.S. government, as well as several right-wing governments in the region. In Chile, the National Office of Emergency of the Interior Ministry reported 16 active wildfires at the end of the year. The director of the National Office for Emergency stated one of the reasons why it is difficult to battle the fires is because of the topography of the different areas and the wind direction, which reaches 40 kilometers per hour. The affected municipalities have approximately 300 houses damaged, 20 destroyed by the fire, and 1 school burned to the ground. Meanwhile, the National Office of Emergency ordered an immediate evacuation in several districts because of the flames. So far, emergency services have extinguished 2 fires and controlled 76. These services have 24 ground brigades, a helicopter, 4 helicopters, a Lockheed Hercules transport aircraft, and 12 rescue planes. The death toll in the state of New York alone has risen to 39 as a result of Winter Storm Elliott affecting the United States. The political head of Erie County, the hardest hit county in the state, Mark Polanskars, indicated that the medical examiner's office has already confirmed 39 deaths, 31 of them registered in Buffalo, the country's main city. He also indicated that all the victims have been identified and the activities in the state are returning to normal with the resumption of basic services after acts of vandalism and looting. Weather services authorities have predicted that Elliott will continue with the sub-zero temperatures, leaving more than 60 people dead. Let us take a short break, but first remember you can follow us on TikTok at the account at teleSUR English, in which you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and much more. All the stories coming up, stay with us. Welcome back from the South. In the Vatican, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI passed away this Saturday at the age of 95. The news was released by the director of the Holy See Press Office, Matteo Bruni, who explained that his death was caused by a progressive deterioration of his health, which, in addition to his respiratory system, also affected other internal organs, including his heart. Bruni informed that the funeral of Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI will be held in St. Peter's Square at 9:30 a.m. local time on Thursday, January 5th, and the service will be conducted by Pope Francis.
Official source of the Vatican informed that Joseph Ratzinger's medical condition worsened with an illness that affected part of his face and his advanced age that made him be under constant surveillance at the Gemelli Hospital in Rome. Benedict XVI was born on April 16, 1927 in Martel, Bavaria, Germany, into a farming family with deep Catholic convictions. He began his career in 1957 as a professor of dogmatic theology, and during this period, he made notable contributions to the Vatican Council. His intense religious activity led him to hold important positions in the service of the German Bishops' Conference and the International Theological Commission. In 1977, he was appointed cardinal by Pope Paul VI, and by 1982, he was head of the Commission for the Preparation of the Catechisms. In 2002, Pope John Paul II appointed him Dean of the College of Cardinals. After the death of John Paul II, a conclave elected him as Supreme Pontiff in April 2005, taking the name Benedict XVI in honor of Saint Benedict. After his papacy of almost 8 years marked by several scandals, on February 11, 2013, Joseph Ratzinger announced his resignation under the allegation of lack of strength, to later acquire the title of Pope Emeritus. As Pontiff Emeritus, Benedict XVI kept a low public profile with very few appearances, most notable the historic first meeting he had with his successor Francisco in late March 2013.
3 days of mournings were decreed by the Brazilian government for the physical departure of the legendary football player Edson Arantes do Nascimento, known as Pele. The mourning period began on Thursday and it will remain in force until December 31st, according to a decree published in the official Gazette of the Union. The Brazilian champion lost his life in Sao Paulo at the age of 82 after several days of hospitalization in which he was treated for colon cancer. His departure caused great commotion at international level. For their part, the state of Sao Paulo and the mayor's office of the city of Santos, where the former footballer developed an important part of his career, extended the mourning for 7 days. The death of Edson Arantes do Nascimento at the age of 82 sparked multiple manifestations of love in the world. The main buildings and monuments are tinged with verde amarelo.
The death of Pele has shocked the entire planet, both inside and outside the football world. The first reactions were not long in coming, starting in his home country. All of Brazil was dressed in mourning, although the night gave way to the green and yellow colors of its flag, which covered the most emblematic place, such as the Maracanã Stadium. The Santos Stadium is getting ready to host next Monday the funeral chapel of a Rey of Soccer, the only one with 3 World Cups to his name, awaiting the tens of thousands of fans who will come to bid him a final farewell. Santos will study the possibility of retiring the number 10 that immortalized Pele at the age of 82, announced the president of the Brazilian club, Andrés Rueda, on Friday. The South American Soccer Confederation and the Mercado McCann Agency launched a campaign to replace 3 of the 5 stars on the Brazilian national team's jersey with hearts as a tribute to Pelé and his hometown.
The Central Bank of Venezuela reported Friday that the country's gross domestic product grew by 17.73% in January-September 2022. The banking institution pointed out that these results makes 5 consecutive quarters in which positive variations are evidenced in most of the country's economic activities, which reflect the favorable performance of the national productive apparatus. The entity also indicated the Venezuelan gross domestic product at constant prices registered punctual growth of 17.45%, 23.30%, and 13.22% in the first 3 quarters of 2022. This upward trend of the Venezuelan GDP generated that the indicator grew 17.73% in the first 9 months of 2022. And we have more news coming up at our final short break, so don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. Tension rises on the Korean peninsula. The South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff reported that North Korea fired 3 short-range ballistic missiles into the Sea of Japan on Saturday. The launch was made from Cheonggwa County in the northern Hwanghae province. The Japanese Ministry of Defense also reported the launching of 3 missiles from North Korean territory, detailing that the flight distance was 350 kilometers with a maximum altitude of 100 kilometers. This is the 37th missile launched by Pyongyang so far this year. North Korean authorities affirm that these exercises are aimed at increasing defensive capabilities due to threats mainly from the United States and South Korea. On Saturday, China's President Xi Jinping called on the Chinese people to remain united and to work as one heart with the firm will to make tomorrow's China a better place to live in. President Xi made the call while delivering a speech to convey his best wishes to the Chinese people on New Year's Eve. He said, as long as the 1.4 billion Chinese people work as one heart, one mind, and remain united, no task will be impossible and no difficulty unsurmountable. She said the people both sides of the Taiwan Strait are members of the same family, and he hoped that they would work together to promote the nation's lasting prosperity. The state-owned China Technology Exchange, in collaboration with Art Exhibitions China and the private company Huban Digital Copyrights, are about to launch China's first digital asset market. According to local media, the so-called China's digital asset trading platform will be launched in Beijing on January 1st, 2023. This non-fungible token platform will be a secondary market for the exchange of digital copyrights, property rights, and collectibles. A non-fungible token, or NFT, is a unique asset that cannot be modified or exchanged for another of the same value, as no two are equivalent. NFTs are often compared to digital works of art or collectibles using blockchain technology, the same one used for crypto assets to protect their authenticity. On Friday, China accused the United States of posing serious threats to the Asian giant's national security with its surveillance operations after Washington warned that a recent interception by a Chinese fighter jet could have caused a near collision.
For a long time, the US has been sending frequently its warships and planes to China for close reconnaissance, which possesses serious threats to China's national security. The US provocative and dangerous act has been the root cause of maritime issues. We urge the US to stop such dangerous provocations and stop deflecting blame on China.
Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday extended holiday and 2023 New Year's greetings to heads of foreign states and governments, as well as leaders of international organizations. The Russian head of state warmly congratulated his Turkish counterpart, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, emphasizing that mutually beneficial relations between Russia and Turkey are dynamically developing. In his letter to the Bolivian President Luis Arce, Putin expressed his confidence that all bilateral cooperation projects will be successfully implemented. Putin also emphasized that the recent visit of the Cuban leader to Russia confirmed a high level of relations between Moscow and Havana. Finally, in his message to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, Putin confirmed the importance of the strategic partnership between the two countries, together with the fruitful development of bilateral cooperation in various spheres. We have come to the end of this news briefing. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.